Thousands of predominantly Haitian migrants are still camped at the U.S. border, where officials have struggled to provide them with food and sanitation. Last weekend, approximately 13,000 would-be migrants gathered under a bridge connecting Del Rio in Texas with Ciudad Acuña in Mexico. Many of the migrants are fleeing natural disasters, poverty, and political turmoil, and making a treacherous journey through Latin America to reach the border. While citizens of several countries are represented in the migrant camp in Del Rio, including Dominicans, Venezuelans, and Cubans, the vast majority are from Haiti. Of the Haitians, a significant number were those who fled after a devastating earthquake struck the country in 2010, and took up residence in Brazil and other South American countries. Haiti has also suffered from years of political instability, culminating in the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in July. The following month, the country suffered another deadly earthquake. Kadiana Anglade, the Haitian-born Development and Operations Director of the Washington-based Lambie Fund of Haiti, says the combination of natural disasters and political unrest over the years has left many Haitians with nothing to hold on to.
There was a big lack of hope for the people who were living on the ground in Haiti, she says. It's just been one shock after another, and one trauma after another. Many of the Haitians at the U.S.-Mexico border experienced a long and difficult journey from South America. Ralph Thomas Saint, a journalist for the Haitian news outlet Ibo Post who visited Del Rio this week to collect testimonies from migrants, says most of the migrants had a sad story from the journey. Many women were raped during the trip, and many people die, he says. You have thieves and gangs along the route, and people they have to pay to take them from one point to another. The experiences of Fiderson Janvier, a Haitian man currently in the Mexican border town of Mexicali, are typical of many of the migrants at the border. Like many of his countrymen who have been in Del Rio this week, Mr. Janvier first spent several years in Brazil before moving to Chile. There, he met his wife and had a child, who is now 3 years old. But as they were unable to move beyond the lowest social rung in South America, the Janvier family decided to head north to the U.S. The trip was often dangerous. In the Darien Gap between Colombia and Panama, for example, he says he saw the dead bodies of migrants. He also describes being robbed by bandits and says many of the women were raped. In August, his mother was among the 2,200 people who lost their lives in Haiti's earthquake, in which his father lost a leg. I had to keep going. My father has no one now, and the only person who can send him money is my brother, he says. And I need to help too. Read Mr. Janvier's full story here. A significant number of Haitians at the border originally had been in Brazil, attracted by the promise of plentiful jobs during the 2016 Summer Olympics and 2014 World Cup. When those jobs dried up, many began heading to other countries in Latin America. After Brazil, many Haitians went to Chile. There were opportunities in the construction sector there too, Mr. Thomas Saint explains. At that time, it was very easy for them to go there. They didn't need visas. But many Haitians subsequently left Chile, driven away by increasingly strict migration policies. Government statistics show the number of visas issued to Haiti this year stands at approximately 3,000, down from 126,000 in 2018. From South America, the Haitians head north to the U.S. under the false assumption, sometimes fueled by rumors, that they will be welcomed there. The people we have at the U.S. borders are the ones who left 5, 6, or 7 years ago, Mr. Thomas Saint says. Many of them just couldn't find jobs anymore. Ms. Anglade says many head towards the U.S. after hearing that the door will be open to them if they arrive at a port of entry. They thought that as long as they make it the border, they'd have a better opportunity, she says. But what they walked into is a deplorable situation. There are no words to explain or express how painful it is watching what those people are going through underneath that bridge. On Thursday, U.S. officials said that approximately 4,000 migrants remained under the bridge. Several thousand have already been returned to Mexico, while an estimated 3,200 are in custody waiting to be processed. In addition, about 1,400 have, so far, been flown back to Haiti under the U.S. government's Title 42 policy aimed preventing the spread of COVID-19 in holding facilities. Jen Budd, an immigrant rights activist who was at the scene on Wednesday, says police and National Guard personnel have completely blocked off the area. "You cannot breathe here without law enforcement knowing what you're doing," says Ms. Budd, a former Border Patrol agent. "They're cleaning it up and getting rid of everything, and they have shut down access to the river itself." Meanwhile, more Haitians are heading north from South American countries. Nearly 19,000 mostly Haitian migrants are in Colombia waiting to cross the border to Panama, Colombian officials say.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe